Good evening. Welcome to the Rose Art Museum. Welcome to the home of Roy Lichtenstein, Jasper Johns, Robert Rauschenberg, Andy Warhol, Pierre Matisse, Paul Cézanne, Rembrandt, Max Weber, George Bellows, Thomas Hart Benton, Reginald Marsh, Hyman Bloom, George Grosz, Judy Chicago, Anna Mendieta, Marisol, Cindy Sherman, Hannah Wilke, Francesca Woodman, Barry McGee, Kristen Boltanski, Mona Hatoum, Kiki Smith, Dominic McGill, Natalie Frank, Mary Ellen Strom, Ellen Gallagher. Welcome to the home of 7,000 artworks, 80% of which were given in trust to be held by the Rose and Brandeis University in the public trust, in perpetuity, for generations of people from the community and students of Brandeis to enjoy and learn from, and the other 20% of which were purchased from endowment funds given in perpetuity for the enhancement of the collection, for generations of people from the community and students of Brandeis to enjoy and learn from. Ladies and gentlemen, at this moment, these artworks are not for sale. As I'm sure you know, support for the sustaining of the Rose Art Museum has been pouring in from all over the world, not only from almost every state in this union, but also from Germany, Switzerland, Iceland, Israel, France, Japan, Hong Kong, India, the United Kingdom, Australia, and on and on. Almost 5,000 people have signed on at SaveTheRose.com, a site started by people whom we don't know. I don't know who started that site. It's available here at the computer for those of you who wish to sign before you leave, but almost 5,000 people, as I say, have signed on already in support of the Rose Art Museum. There has been an outpouring of vocal support for us from all professional organizations throughout this country and also the world. From the American Association of Museums, the American Association of Museum Directors, the International Council on Museums that is based in Vienna, and so forth. We've been hearing from notable art collectors. We've been hearing from people from farms in Iowa. We've been hearing from alums. And just today we received a message from three very significant alums whom you will recognize, those of you connected to Brandeis. Adam Weinberg, the director of the Whitney Museum in New York. Gary Tintereau, the curator of modern and contemporary art at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York. And Kimberly Rorschach, the director of the Nasher Museum at Duke University. They say the Rose Art Museum stands in a wooded corner of Brandeis University, just off a road that winds up and around the campus. It's a low-slung building, modest in scale. But for many Brandeis graduates like us who have gone on to careers in the arts, the Rose was the most significant educational experience we had. If universities were allowed to cash in their collections at will, they say, then every art collection in every museum would be threatened during challenging economic times. We fully understand that the current economic situation is perilous and wrenching decisions have to be made. We fully understand, however, that by announcing this extreme measure, Brandeis University has shaken confidence in its educational mission, threatened a covenant established with thousands of donors, and set a sad and troubling example to other institutions. Knowledge must be transmitted from generation to generation, unquote, in the words of Brandeis's mission statement. That is precisely the purpose of an art museum, to provide continuity in an ever-shifting cultural environment. We can only hope that Brandeis will now revisit its decision. If not, we all stand to lose. We at the Rose Art Museum share those sentiments. We take no joy in this opposition. We take no joy having to come to this museum every day knowing that our days are numbered. In fact, if I can speak personally for just a moment, and it really will be just a moment personally, I feel kind of sick every day. My stomach churns because I personally am someone who likes to advance things, experiment with things, move things forward. And our daily life now is protecting this cherished institution, but also defending a decision that we feel is so aberrant, so totally wrong, that it gives us a physical reaction. This is not a happy day. There are no winners here, at least at the moment. Today, writing in the New York Times, in the LA Times, Christopher Knight quoted our Board of Overseers Chair, John Lee, who's with us tonight, and I'd like to read a little bit of this as well. Jonathan Lee, chairman of the Rose Board of Overseers and a firm opponent of the university's plan, makes a statement that goes to the core of what is at stake here. John says, "The Rose is a cultural and an artistic legacy of post-World War II Jewry, who got over the shock of Hitler and World War II and pulled themselves up and made money and became philanthropic and culturally inclined. So they collected art, supported the university, and gave it art. It's a beautiful legacy." The historic relevance, Knight continues, of this fact cannot be overstated. Hitler's Germany declared Jews to be vermin and modern art to be degenerate. What Lee evokes is a picture of post-war Jewish American cultural philanthropy, enshrined at the Rose, as elsewhere, in a profound way that represents a very specific refusal and restoration. Dismantling the modern art museum built with a generation of the Holocaust at a progressive Jewish university tears that achievement asunder.